All right, welcome back. Today, we're jumping into something that's frankly a game changer for a lot of people. Atomic Habits by James Clear. We're going to decode the powerful science behind it and explore how the smallest, tiniest actions you take, the ones you barely even notice, are actually the secret to incredible long-term change.
I mean, this question really hits home, doesn't it? You know the drill. You set a big, ambitious goal, you're fired up, motivation is through the roof, and then, a few weeks later, nothing. The momentum just vanishes. You slide right back into your old ways. It is so frustrating. But what if the problem was never you? What if it wasn't about your willpower at all? What if the real issue has always been the system you're using?
And this idea right here, this quote from Clear, is the answer. It flips the whole script. Lasting success isn't about some heroic all-or-nothing effort. No. The real secret is found in the tiny, almost insignificant choices you make day in and day out. So this brings us to the core engine of this whole philosophy, and it's basically math. James Clear totally reframes habits. He says to think of them as the compound interest of self-improvement. Let's actually see what that looks like.
Think about it like a savings account. $1 doesn't feel like much, right? But then it earns interest, and that interest starts earning more interest. And pretty soon, the growth goes from linear to exponential. Well, your habits do the exact same thing. One good choice feels like a tiny drop in a huge bucket, but you repeat that choice every single day for a year, you're not making ripples anymore. You're creating a tidal wave of change.
And this is the magic number, 1%. The goal isn't to reinvent yourself overnight. It's just to get 1% better today than you were yesterday. That's it. It's so small, it's almost impossible to say no to. You can always read one page. You can always do one push-up. You can always meditate for just 1 minute.
And check this out. At first, the progress is basically invisible. On day 1, a 1% improvement is pretty much nothing. Even after 90 days, the change is still pretty modest. And this is the danger zone. This is where most of us give up because it feels like it isn't working. But look what happens if you just stick with it. By the end of the year, that growth curve becomes explosive. That tiny, consistent effort has compounded into something truly massive.
So if these tiny improvements are the what, then the next big question is the how. And this is where Clear introduces a really radical mindset shift. He says, forget about your goals. Instead, you need to focus entirely on your system.
So here's the difference, right? A goal is the result you want. It's the destination, like run a marathon. But a system is the process that gets you there. It's your training schedule, it's what you eat, it's when you go to bed. Goals are fantastic for setting a direction, but it's the system that actually does the heavy lifting to get you to the finish line. Just think about this for a second. Every team in a sports league has the same goal, win the championship. Every single job applicant has the same goal, get the job. The goal isn't what sets them apart. The real advantage, the thing that separates the winners from the losers, is a better system. A reliable process you can execute day after day, especially when you're not feeling motivated. That's the difference maker. Okay, that sounds great. Focus on your systems. But how do we actually build them? Well, this is where it gets super practical. Clear gives us a toolkit for doing exactly that. It's a simple, memorable framework called the 4 Laws of Behavior Change.
These 4 laws are basically the levers you can pull to build good habits. And this is the cool part. If you just invert them, you can use the same laws to break bad habits. They're designed to work with your brain's natural tendencies, not fight against them. If you can master these 4 steps, you can literally engineer habits that stick. And putting them into practice is actually pretty simple. So let's say you want to read more. Law 1, make it obvious. You leave your book on your pillow, you can't miss it. Law 2, make it attractive. Maybe you pair it with something you already love, like telling yourself you'll only listen to your favorite podcast while you're reading. Law 3, make it easy. You don't commit to a chapter, you just commit to one single page. And finally, Law 4, make it satisfying. Get a calendar and draw a big X for every day you read. That little dopamine hit makes a huge difference. Boom! You've just engineered a reading habit. All right, this last piece of the puzzle might just be the most profound one of all. Because true, deep change isn't just about what you do, it's about who you believe you are.
This is all about the power of identity-based habits. Do you see the subtle shift here? It's huge. An outcome-based approach is temporary. The goal is to run a marathon. Great. But what happens after you cross the finish line? Now what? An identity-based approach, though, is about becoming a new person. The goal isn't just to finish the race, it's to become a runner. And a runner keeps running long after the marathon is over. The behavior just becomes a part of who you are.
This idea is so empowering. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So every time you choose to write one sentence, you're casting a vote for I am a writer. Every time you go to the gym, you're casting a vote for I am a healthy person. These tiny little votes build up over time until a new identity is literally forged and the habits just start to feel natural, effortless even. But there is a crucial warning that comes with all of this. A heads up. The very thing that makes habits so efficient, that automatic nature, also holds a hidden danger. We've got to understand the downside of running on autopilot. That's it exactly. They're a double-edged sword. Once a behavior is automatic, our brain just checks out. And that's great for efficiency. You don't want to consciously think about how to brush your teeth every morning. But when it comes to skills and self-improvement, autopilot can lead to stagnation. Success can actually make us stop paying attention because we just assume our current system is going to work forever. So what's the antidote to this complacency? It's regular reflection. You have to consciously check in. You have to ask yourself these questions. Are these habits still actually serving me? Are they aligned with the person I want to become today? This deliberate process of reviewing and refining your habits is what separates real evolution from just stagnating. So, when you put it all together, the big secret becomes crystal clear. There is no magic bullet. There is no overnight success. The real path to making an extraordinary impact on your own life is simply mastering the art of continuous, small improvements, building systems that work, shaping your identity vote by vote, and always staying mindful of the process. So I'll just leave you with this question. Forget the massive life overhaul for a moment. Based on everything we've just covered, what is the one tiny atomic habit that you can start today? What's the first vote you can cast for the person you want to become? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.